And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to This Week Sports announcement for our spring honorees for our upcoming Winter Spring Sports Banquet that will be on May 22nd at Villa Milano, sponsored by Raising Cane's, Nationwide Children's Hospital, Sports Medicine, and Everdry Waterproofing. Along with Jarrod Ulrey, I'm Dave Purpura. We were here, I think it was about 4 weeks ago to get the winter portion of this.
That's right.
Going, and we're going to have, 40 athletes?
We're going to add 40 athletes today. We've already announced 120 winter sports athletes and 9 winter sports coaches. Today we're going to announce 40 athletes for spring sports, and there are 8 spring sports.
And remember, if you hear your name, you'll be getting your invitation soon. The banquet is Wednesday, May 22nd at Villa Milano. That will include RSVP details. So hopefully you can join us all coming up in 15 days.
Coaches of the Year also will be invited for each of the sports in the spring. We're not announcing those today, but Coaches of the Year will be invited as well.
Yes, absolutely. And let us get to the nominees. I guess we'll start with baseball. Joey Velasquez of DeSales, Mitchell Oakley, Olentangy Liberty, Noah Laurent of Gahanna, Jack Sokol of New Albany, and Philip Cole from Hartley.
That may be my fault on Sokol.
That's all right. On the softball side of things, Zoe Smith of Pickerington Central, Emily Ruck of Westerville Central, Cammie Compson of Westerville Central, Molly Troutman of Gahanna, and Tegan Cordelletti of Hilliard Darby.
Let's talk about these guys a little bit here. Joey Velasquez going to Michigan for baseball and football.
Mm-hmm.
Mitchell Oakley going to Ohio State for baseball. Philip Cole is he's having an exceptional season for Hartley this year, and I know you know a lot about Sokol.
He's having an outstanding season for a New Albany team that went to 21-1 last night. They beat Groveport 1-0. They clinched at least a tie for the OCC Capital title, and those two teams could meet in a Division I district semifinal, partly by the doing of the team that they beat, because Groveport went into the same bracket as New Albany, so that could make things kind of interesting. But Jack Sokol, a Purdue commit already. I mean, they've got a powerhouse going.
It's been, and as far as another team that's got 2 athletes, Westerville Central, is having an exceptional season in softball. Emily Ruck and Cammie Compson. I mean, Emily Ruck has got some amazing numbers pitching wise. Cammie Compson's hitting over 630. And then we also, some of the other ones we mentioned, Tegan Cordelletti is having a phenomenal season for Darby this year. We just had a story about her, I believe, like a week or 2 ago.
Okay.
And then I wrote some stuff about Molly Troutman. She is an Ohio University recruit and hit 535 this year for a Gahanna team that always seems to be in a regional every year. So
yeah, it seems like it.
We'll see what happens this year. They got kind of a tougher draw, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. And then I know you cover Zoe Smith. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, they're seated, I think, 11th or 13th in the tournament, but they can hit the heck out of the ball. They're a bunch of mashers, and Zoe Smith is right in the middle of that, nearing double-digit home runs for the season. She's going to go to Indiana. She is a catcher. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of these names over the next couple of weeks as these teams start to duke it out in the tournament.
I'm going to introduce girls lacrosse next. We've got Sophia Finati of DeSales, Elena Schildmeyer from Upper Arlington, Emily Rezabeck from New Albany, Molly Bersinger from Olentangy Liberty, Isabella Francotti from Dublin Jerome. And in boys lacrosse, we'll have Dominic Dean from Watterson, Tommy Clayton from DeSales, Peter Ackley from New Albany, and Nick Harris and Evan James from Dublin Kaufman.
I saw Dublin Kaufman beat UA last week. Boy, I was impressed by them. The speed at which they play the game is going to give teams a lot of problems. And I think they've only lost one game all year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, and that was to Birmingham. That was Bloomfield Hills Brother Rice.
And that's a heck of a program up in Michigan.
Yeah, great program up there. Nick Harris is going to Notre Dame. Evan James has over, I believe he's got 40 and 30 or something like that this year. I mean, he's having a phenomenal season for them. And in Division II, Watterson has been a breakout team this year. Dominic Dean, he missed 3 games really early this year with a concussion, but he's a phenomenal scorer for them. I mean, last year he had 65 goals, and I don't have the exact count total right now, but I believe it's over 50 for this season. And then I know you've had a chance to see Tommy and Peter.
Yeah, Tommy Clayton, he's got in the neighborhood of 40 goals. I'm not exact on the number for DeSales.
Didn't he have 7 against Watterson?
Yes, he did. And Watterson only won that game by a goal, I think, in overtime.
Right.
Those are the top 2 seeds in their region in Division II. coming up with that tournament starting next week. Peter Ackley, I'm actually doing a story on for next week's edition. He's about 75% on face-offs this year for New Albany, and also a heck of a wrestler as well. And part of my story is going to talk about, I'll be writing it in a little bit, but talking about how those two things feed into each other, wrestling and face-offs, when it comes to lacrosse.
As far as the girls lacrosse names, Isabella Francotti, which her name, she also goes by Izzy, and she's a junior, and last year she missed the entire season with an injury, and she's come back, and she's just a very dynamic player for them. I believe she had one game, she had at least 8 goals, and they, Dublin Jerome is having a really great season this year. They don't have a win, they don't have a loss, excuse me. So, and I believe they play Upper Arlington. I believe maybe tonight.
I think that is tonight, yes. And
should be one to watch. And Schildmeyer is a great player for UA.
She's kind of their heart and soul. And I mean, UA lost so much from last year, but here they are again. Potentially the favorites to win what would be their 5th title. Although New Albany's going to have a lot to say about that. I mean, those two teams met in the final last year in Division I, and I think there's a decent chance, at least a decent chance, that they do it again. Because DeSales, Sophia Finati has over 200 goals in her career. I mean, she's just had an excellent career. She's going to go play with her older sister down at Cincinnati, and they're the top Division II team in the area. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, without question, they should get back to state this year.
Okay.
And now we move on to boys volleyball. Mason Milan or Milan from Gahanna. Apologies. Justin Scharfenegger of Briggs, Jake France of St. Charles, Noah Plattfoot of Hilliard Darby, and also in Hilliard, Jonah Gilbert from Bradley. On the boys' tennis side of things, Alec Hayden from Olentangy Orange, Reese Yakubov of St. Charles, and these next 3 guys know each other very well, Devin Boyer, Nathan Jose, and Robert Cash, all of them from the powerhouse New Albany Eagles.
What a deep team that is.
They really are. I mean, they're deserving of having.
And actually, they had another state singles qualifier last year.
Ryan Musray,
who's back. So, yeah, I mean that's really incredible. I mean, Robert Cash has been phenomenal for a long time. Yeah.
They're such a juggernaut. I mean, he was a state title winner last year. The other 2 teamed in doubles,
right,
to win the state title. They've got a good chance to win the OTCA championship as well. I mean, they're top ranked in the state for a reason, and like I said, I mean, I think they're definitely deserving of having all 3 of these names on here.
And Yakubov and Hayden are also exceptional players. Probably gonna have a real good chance to make it to state. As far as the boys volleyball names, Noah Plattfoot from Hilliard Darby. I mean, Darby has been a powerhouse for a few years now. Noah has been an exceptional player. He's only a junior this year. And then, Justin Scharfenegger from Briggs. Now, Briggs is not, they've only had a program for a few years. Justin is kind of a unique player, though. He's a right side hitter who's played for one of the probably Central Ohio's best club boys program called Vanguard, and he's played for their highest team for the last few years, and he's just. I think it's a great story that he's been able to say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to stay at Briggs, and I'm going to try to continue to succeed, and he's going to be playing at Lincoln Memorial next year, and he's helped lift Briggs to having a really good season this year.
There are going to be some Bruins at that banquet because remember, we're going to have a couple bowlers.
That's right. That's right.
As well, coming up on the 22nd.
Well, let's move on to the track names. In girls track, Micaiah Montgomery from Beechcroft, Grace Fry from Olentangy Orange, Madison Martinez from Gahanna, Jaden Wood from Pickerington Central, and Lindsay Stoll from Hilliard Davidson. In a boys track, we'll have Evan Matthews and Denzel Fegan from Pickerington Central, Makar Trent from Gahanna, Jayshell Akiapong from, apologize for that, from Olentangy Orange, and Corbin Martino from Canal Winchester.
Well, I'm lucky enough to cover several of these kids. I mean,
I cover some too, yeah.
The trio from Pickerington Central, Matthews, who has, I think, the top time in the area in both of the hurdles events. He's on a good relay. Fagan's on a good relay as well. His older brother was a champion in the 400 at state a couple of years ago and then is running in Pittsburgh right now. Corbin Martino was the second fastest freshman in the country in the 400 last year.
He's a sensei. Like, he must be something really special. I'm really looking forward to seeing him at the state meet this year, if he can get there. So.
A way I know I'm getting older is I covered both of his parents at Amanda Clear Creek when they were competing. When I was at the Lancaster Eagle Gazette many years ago, I had a little more up here back in those days. But it was fun to watch them. And like you said, I mean, Madison Martinez is a name you hear about quite a lot, and not just in track.
Well, she, I mean, she's a great volleyball player originally. She was committed to play volleyball at Ohio University several years ago, and then realized, you know what, maybe my future is better. Is going to be better in track, and she ended up. She's now going to Villanova for track. She's defending state champion in the 800, and she's going to run on probably at least a couple of relays are going to be at state. It'll be interesting to see which second individual event she ends up deciding to choose, assuming she does, because she's great in a 1600, she's great in a 400. I mean, she could be a 400 runner probably if she really wanted. That's how talented she is. And of course, I'm not sure there's a more versatile athlete in Central Ohio than Grace Fry. From just all the different events she's able to do. Like she can be a thrower, she can be a sprinter, she can do hurdles.
I got a real kick out of that story that our colleague Steve Blackledge did last
Yeah.
week. That was a week ago today, I believe,
right,
in the
right.
paper, talking about just everything that even throwing events. I mean, she's able to do as well. It's very interesting. And
Micaiah Montgomery is a former state champion 2 years ago for Beechcroft in Division II, and we're going to get to see her a lot the next few weeks. She has her team keeps getting better too. I mean, there's a good chance they're going to be at state, possibly with a relay or two.
Mm-hmm. And the championship season for them starts with all the league meets going on this weekend,
That's
then
right.
district, then regional, and then state, taking us to the end of the school year.
That's right.
Well, reminder, again, the banquet date is May 22nd. That's 2 weeks from tomorrow at Villa Milano. Athletes and coaches, honorees will get your invitations in the mail here soon. That will have your RSVP information. Make sure to get back to us. Hopefully you can join us up there. We've had several of these over the past couple of years. They seem to get better all the time from the fall and then to this winter, spring.
Hope they're enjoyable. And
Hopefully so. You got a fan here. So we are going to get out of here, and we will talk to you very soon. For Jarrod, Ulrey, I'm Dave Purpura. So long, everybody.